What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Omega Gaming Esports broadcast here. I'm Rudy, joined by Vic, the support for Omega Gaming Unleashed, and tonight we're bringing you the second game in the series between Omega Gaming Tempest and DreadZone Gaming here. Obviously, after that barn burner of a game number one, Omega Gaming Tempest walk out the victors. And Vic, what are we expecting for game number two here?
Hopefully more of the same. Hopefully a lot more of the same stuff because that was exciting to watch for sure.
Just
Um,
another. If we could get the game to an hour, that'd be perfect.
yeah, maybe an hour and a half, and then go to game three.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then hopefully DreadZone win it, and we can then and then Tempest win with Yasuo Gragas bot lane. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there right now.
that would be pretty unleashed. But it might actually happen too because we do have Ivar being substituted out. Original roster is now assembled once again. King back in the lineup.
Yeah, super sub Ivar. Good for one game. He picks up the W for the team, and I think it's safe to say that me, you, Vic, and everybody in chat will say that that game was probably the biggest Ivar gap that there has ever been in a game of League of Legends.
There was a gap for sure.
There was definitely a gap, and I think that that's what everybody can agree on. We'll move past it though, because we are into game number two here, with the draft has commenced, and already we see some slightly different situation, something else evolving from the draft here. We've got
Yep.
Omega Gaming Tempest still on red side here, so DreadZone Gaming sticking to blue side, but with the Caitlyn first pick here because of the Silas ban.
Yeah, they drop out the Caitlyn ban from game one, like you say, and pick up the Silas ban. Caitlyn, although she was nerfed, I still believe is still a pretty potent ADC in the meta. She's really oppressive in lane, and uh, as Ziggs is really good at taking towers, taking tower plates, and getting leads through that way.
Yeah, the things that were making Caitlyn strong before didn't really get too addressed, right? Caitlyn has this insane early game power, and maybe the late game touched a little bit with the scaling nerfs, obviously, but still a really strong early game champion that can not really be matched in her lane unless you pull out some next level cheese here. From Tempest though, round two, picking up Lucian Gragas once again.
Yeah, pretty solid picks. Served them really well in the first game, so I don't see why you wouldn't take them again.
Oh,
Okay, Zed or Bed. We got a really spicy reply here from DreadZone Gaming in the Bard and the Zed pickup.
we got
Hello?
the we wanted something to go on. Hello.
Hello. Hello, Ivar.
You guys mind a little TriCast?
Okay, ladies and
course.
gentlemen, we got a pre-series interview here with the AD carry of Omega Gaming Tempest. Ivar, I gotta ask you, what are your thoughts on that game number one there? Fresh off the back of a victory, 50-minute slogfest. How are you feeling?
I'm going back to retirement.
That didn't reignite the flame in you, Ivar?
Nope.
That's just
Nope. It was fun. It was fun. I was glad that I was able to be there because when they needed the sub. But not being practiced really affected me, especially on the Ziggs. It's very obvious.
I mean,
But
me and Vic had a little chat, in our intermission. I want to go back, and you can use your replay file. I want to get an ulti counter that connected that game, because it
2
felt
out of
like
11.
2 out of 11 with the boys counting.
I was counting. But
Nice. So maybe
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some tips here, and this is I can't remember this word either. This is free coaching for you right here, Ivor. Your ulti does damage. If you use it as a
Okay.
non-zoning tool, you will find more success in a team fight. That's all I'm gonna say. That's why I'm gonna leave it.
Okay. Well, I mean, all I'm gonna say is we won the game because, in my opinion, because of the Mundo pick and the Ziggs pick. If those two champions were not in the game, we wouldn't be able to end there. Didn't matter who was playing the champions.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Ziggs blow up both those 2 Nexus turrets in one satchel.
Dude,
And
it was so
honestly,
insane, right?
And honestly, like, no other champion could do that, right? Like, if you had any other mage bot laner there, then those turrets just kill your Mundo, who's full tank and not taking any damage from them.
Okay, dude.
I definitely agree with you that the Mundo and the Ziggs did win the game. I would like to add in that Lucian is a pretty insane champion as well.
No, I'm pretty sure Todd didn't do anything in that game, to be honest.
No, he was popping off. But let's
he was
just
doing
say,
some stuff. He was doing the PPUs, but definitely good drafting out of your coach there. Big shout out to him.
yeah.
All right, so
Coach
what are you thinking going into game number 2 here, Ivor? What's the consensus? What's the down low on how Tempest are going to go from game 1 to game 2 and make it look a little bit cleaner?
They have their AD carry.
So you're saying that you're not up to their standard?
I think there was some serious synergy gaps.
Okay.
It also changed the dynamic. From what I understand, King doesn't talk as much as I do, which is fine. Which I think is actually good for Tempest because Caxi, Milk, and Todd make a lot of the calls. So the too many cooks in the kitchen analogy can really mess up the recipe.
You almost had the ultimate broth spoilage and poisoned your entire team with a loss, but you came out with a nice looking soup at the end of the day.
Yeah. I might have called one of those Int Dragons. Might have been me.
The one where you got killed by Equalizer and then Volley Bear ulti into 3 people.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. That one.
That one.
But then I also
stuck out.
I also called them off the Baron one time. The first Baron, I'm gonna be honest, dude. I have no idea why they did it. I told them to just. Me and Milk were just telling them to posture as if you guys are doing it. Don't do it, and we just get free stuff bottom because I had TP up. But they just, for some reason, started to burn it, and yeah.
Yeah, that Baron call definitely had me and Rude with our scratching our heads a little bit. Yeah. But overall, it was like pretty fun game to watch. Pretty good stuff from Tempest, even though it was a bit of a fiesta. It's what we all love to see, isn't it?
Everybody popped off.
Yeah,
on the team. Everybody played well.
Yeah, I agree.
I think also the other team played really well as well. They had some pretty good macro calls in rotating when they had the Baron and the inhibs down. It's just Todd being able to catch out Jinx one too many times. Is what pretty much resulted in us winning. Like on the Elder Drag, he caught Jinx out where we were allowed to get it. And then after Elder Drag, when we were going to Baron, he caught Jinx one more time. And
yeah, we didn't really see how the Jinx died there on the Elder Drag fight. We saw that
Caxi got the kill, yeah.
Yeah, so Jinx kind of came up from bottom by herself. Like kind of like almost flanking. And Todd insta-popped her GA. So Caxi got the kill because me and him both just put Minefield and Grog's barrel down. So the moment she came out, we just popped her instantly. But it was Todd that got the initial GA.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Doesn't really make sense that she would walk up alone, but it makes sense that you guys punished her for it.
That's very true. I mean, hey, I want to also shout out the looks that game. Fossil Dino. I'm sorry if I've been saying your name wrong the entire time because it's occurred to me that I might have been. But those looks bindings felt like they were catching people out left and right as well.
Yeah, I got hit by a couple.
Yeah, I think the Lux was like a really big part of their team comp. They really did have to play around getting bindings and getting picks that way, as well as just like running people down with like the equalizer and the volley bear. But bindings really easy way to get catches, and that's what makes Lux like such a valuable pick and support nowadays.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So okay, what we'll do, guys at home, we are going to throw it to a quick break while me, Ivor, and Vic get synced up here. Am I going to have to? Yeah, we'll throw it to a quick break, and then we'll come back. Game number 2 here of this best of 3 in the LHG Academy League. Omega Gaming Tempest versus DreadZone Gaming. coming up for you in just a second. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to DreadZone Gaming versus Omega Gaming Tempest in the LHG Last Hit Gods Academy League here on the Omega Gaming Esports channel. I am Rudude, joined by Viscero, Velcro, Vic, the support for Omega Gaming Unleashed. And also, in just a little bit here, we'll be joined by Ivar, who's just gone away to earn himself. He's just earned himself, you know, a celebratory snack after game number 1 here, where he subbed in for King. He's going to be joining us in just a little bit here, but King back on the roster for Tempest now. I think that I'm hoping that we see a little bit more of a cleaner execution from Tempest.
Yeah, cleaner execution, clean drafting as well. I do want to point out something we didn't really touch on while we were in the drafting phase, is that the Lucian, which last time was piloted by Todd, is now being flexed to top lane to secure Todd a more favorable matchup into the Zed with the Akali, which I'm pretty sure is a hard counter to Zed.
Yeah, I feel like Akali into any melee matchup is typically favoured for the Akali. We'll have to see how the lane plays out. Obviously, Annika's picked the Zed thinking that he'd be going into the Lucian. And as you rightfully mentioned, the triple flex essentially that Lucian provides, really giving them a little bit of an edge. It feels like in this draft, and also to mention that with the Zed in the mid lane, that DreadZone Gaming are really lacking any form of magical damage this game. Whereas game 1 they had it in spades, this time they got none.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say Bard, if he, goes AP build, could dish out a bit of magic damage, but for sure lacking in that department. A bit of a draft kingdom, if I do say so myself.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely looking pretty rough already early on, as we see Milkhouse dashing in the top lane, showing off the Lucian once again versus these short range champions. Obviously got his slightly ranged don't want to call him a fully ranged champion. Got sort of a weird mixture between being wanting to be up in the face, but also having the ability to dish out that damage from a little bit further away than most top laners.
Yeah, and the reason I say it is a Draft Kingdom is not only does mid and top have favorable matchups, bot lane even picked themselves a nice little support counter pick with DreadZone Gaming showing the Bard very early. They're able to lock into Karma in response, which is a pretty bad matchup for Bard. Anything that's like a long range mage enchanter type pick, it's pretty hard for Bard to deal with. Kind of gets outranged and poked out like we're seeing right now.
Yeah, he has to get so close to try and throw that Cosmic Binding that all the damage that he receives on the way in and the way out really does stack up, and it's really rare that you do find those favourable trades unless you've got jungle presence, unless you hit that stun on a wall. It's really difficult to find those trades as the Bard, and you know, happy that you brought that up as well, because I feel like Ashe is also sort of a soft counter to Caitlyn, at least in the laning sense, that you pick up Ashe just because she's got 625 range, which is only 25 less than Caitlyn, so it really reduces the range discrepancy between Caitlyn and other ADCs that you find.
Yeah, for sure. Ashe as well being like just a strong ADC pick in this meta right now. Heavy utility pick as well as a nice carry pick.
Oh, Naruto Kamikaze comes on through into the mid lane, but it's countered by Kaxi, and the Shuriken Flip just picks up first blood. Red buff in the favour of Todd, and a wonderful counter gank from Kaxi. Picks up a kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, Kaxi really running the map right now. Able to pick up nice counter ganks in both games at the mid lane. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, just the fact that they both reached the same point essentially the same point in the early game, and Kaxi's farmed an extra camp over the Hecarim really just speaks volumes about the jungle skill that Kaxi's providing here, right? He picks up 5 of his own camps and then the topside scuttle, whilst Naruto was only able to pick up 3 of his rather, or 4 of his maybe, I can't quite tell, and the scuttle. So, you know, he came in, Kaxi that is, level 4, Naruto Kamikaze, still level 3 on this Hecarim, so really struggling in the early game already.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely down quite a bit, and I do like the rune choice that we do see on the Gragas. The Predator already has the early boot buy, can, you know, get around the map even quicker, get in position to where he needs to be even quicker. Really good choice for him. Really fits his play style.
Yeah, definitely. We saw it numerous times in game number 1 where he would just Predator randomly and then just end up in a lane and you know, end up finding something, finding a summon as well, finding a kill, anything of that flavour, really going in their favour essentially, picking up a lot of kills in the mid lane early on, as we see some short trades in the bot lane. Emily with the Mantra Q, gonna target Fossil with that one. Takes the Bard down to probably half HP, but has a couple of Caretaker Shrines available, so not gonna feel horrendous about that trade necessarily. And up on the top side, I want to, you know, quickly address sort of the item builds that we've got here. A lot of respect being paid by Jace. Oh, but Milk-Cow's popping the culling early on. It's interrupted by the dash, and with no level 6 on the air, got the kill, isn't going to be able to come through, but Jace coming out on top of that trade.
Yeah, really nice interrupt onto the culling. Maybe Milk-Cow's wasn't really expecting him to E in aggressively, but really caught him off guard there.
And it's, oh, Kaxi here is that Predator. Flash still available for Jace. Flash away is going to keep himself safe. The Predator used in, again, exchange of a summoner spell from DreadZone Gaming. In early on, quick advantage up on the top side. You know, I noticed whilst we were up there that Milk-Cow's is level 6 to Jace's level 5, and neither top laner expending the TPs on their first recall suggests that just the wave management from Milk-Cow's has been on point.
Yeah, and Kaxi once again showing up in the right place at the right time, sees that his top laner is in need of assistance and helps him get the wave crashed in so he can get a favorable reset for himself. In response here, we do see DreadZone Gaming pick up this first dragon.
Yeah, they, you know, nice little side play essentially. They get themselves a quick objective on the other side of the map here. Looks like Caxie's actually going to take away the blue buff, but I don't know that he's going to get away with this all too much. Yes, Jace has just recalled, but Andicus is on his way. Here he goes. Flashes. Oh, or Blast Cone's over the wall, rather. Gets the flip. Oh, and there goes the flash death mark. Caxie caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and he's going to fall there.
Yeah, Andicus really wanted to secure that kill for himself. Make sure to burn both summoners for it. Maybe a bit overkill, but either way ends up with the kill and the, I believe, maybe not a buff, but gets a kill for himself. That's good enough.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's now on Todd. We'll have to see whether or not he can capitalize on this Zed with essentially 0 cooldowns here for himself. Akali with the Seeker's Arm Guard, you have to feel, especially being a counter pick in this mid lane, has the advantage, and when there's no cooldowns available on the Zed, then you have to think that Todd is maybe going to try and make something work.
Yeah, for sure. It does seem that we are seeing that Tempest are coming away very well off in this lane phase so far. CS leads in all 3 lanes, and as well as pretty even matchup in the jungle.
Oh, very early heal from the Caitlyn there. You know, Caxie just merely showing his face in the lane, forcing out more summoner spells in the bot lane this time, and now we see Milk Cows dashing in. Jace, can I just dash away? Gets to safety, and ultimately nothing really to be had there. The Bramble Vest picked up very early on by this Urgot is really going to probably reduce the amount of laning prowess that this Lucian's going to have, and we see early on here that we can, you can tell the difference in item builds from top lane to mid lane. Oh, but here goes the body slam. The keg, not quite enough to pull Dina back into the small barrel, and it's just going to be a bit of wasted time there from Caxie. But again, you talked about it, overall across the map, just pressuring every single lane for Omega Gaming. Tempest CS leads, XP leads it feels like as well, and just overall advantages for the Tempest guys is amounted to an early 1k gold lead. And I think the most important one to mention here is that difference in the bot lane, because King has managed to find a recall, grabbed himself the BF sword, and also able to now have an advantage in the second time round. Jace getting poked out a little bit in the top side there, but this bot lane difference in the minute is really speaking volumes to me.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it does lead me to believe that even more so now, seeing how the lanes are playing out, that DreadZone Gaming did just get quite heavily outdrafted. Their use of the support pick is just not paying off so far, but we'll have to see if, past lane phase in the mid game and late game, if this Bard pick pays off for them.
Yeah, we see quick fight up on the top side here. The Urgot ultimate connects and Milk Cows is going to have to flash away, but there it comes. The chains pull him in. Jace picks up the kill in the top lane, and another little nugget of gold in the pocket of DreadZone Gaming gives them a little bit of an edge back towards even in this game.
Yep, nice pickup.
Oh, here we go. Here's the fight in the mid lane. Deathmark popped after a nice full combo. Ulti flash from Todd. He's going to get himself to safety. This counter pick in the mid lane though for Tempest, whilst he's even on CS, the early kill for the Zed really feels like has determined how this lane is by no means a counter. Oh, but fighting in the bot lane and now in the top lane as well. Gank by Caxie finds Jason. Milk Cows is definitely going to be able to pick this one up. Didn't even see how that one came about, but you have to believe it was that Predator once again for Caxie.
Yeah, and it seems like wherever Caxie shows up, things are happening, whether that be summoners blown or kills created.
For sure, and we're sat even kills, even turrets essentially, but a 2k gold lead in favour of Tempest here, and it again comes back to your point that this lane kingdom in all 3 lanes really is proving to do work here. Emily goes in, the tether not going to proc. Actually takes quite a significant amount of chunk damage back But the Enchanted Crystal Arrow in combination with the volley is able to take verbal toxicity right back to the base.
Yeah, right back to Fountain he goes, and clean play from King on the Ashe.
This bot lane play, I mean, what are the repercussions of the Caitlyn dying there? Because it's not just 300 gold to the Ashe, right? There's so much more about it.
Yeah, there really is. Ashe as a pick in itself, like I mentioned in the draft phase, is something that you do want to get lane priority on, and the fact that they haven't been able to do that, they haven't been able to push their lane at all. Really, they haven't been able to even chip down the tower the slightest or get any plates, is really just gonna stall out this Ashe's power spike even further.
Oh, but Naruto and Namikaze dashing on into the Dragon Pit there with the Blast Cone, and there goes Andicus. Deathmark going to come through. The stopwatch used. Caxi now in a bit of trouble. Manages to cask and barrel slam over the wall, and the Blast Cone takes him back into the fight. Actually, Little Barrel picks up 1 kill. Nice Tempered Fate is going to disengage, but here goes Todd with the perfect execution part 2. Picks himself up 1 kill. Verbal Toxicity, the Predator now ready on Caxi. Might have overstepped just a little bit. The Pilt over Peacemaker isn't going to be able to pick up the kill, and the Rift Herald called in the top lane. Milk Cows is going to pick himself up a large chunk of gold. The Blade of the Ruin King used to slow Jace, and now the culling comes through. It's going to tag up the minion wave more than the Urgot. And a well-timed wave actually saving the Urgot in that time. You have to believe it. And now we're not even finished yet. Another Herald charging on the top side. Milk Cow's taken quite low by the turret. Andicus trying to poke out Todd, and the Ocean Dragon goes in favor of Tempest. A lot of things all going the way of Tempest here, but Naruto Namikaze goes to proct. Here he goes, Milk Cow's likely to fall here. The little Vamp Scepter healing is not enough. Blade of the Ruin King as well, rather, is just nowhere near enough to get himself safe. Todd, Shuriken Flip, manages to dodge out on the dash from Jace. Goes back in with it, and there he's the 5-point strike. Going to take down 1. Now, with the Shroud available, can he take down 2? Using these Akali auto attacks to full effectiveness isn't enough. Naruto Namikaze with the full completed warrior enchant. Gonna pick up a 1-for-1 in the mid lane.
Yeah, nice plays coming out from both Omega Gaming Tempest and from DreadZone in response. I didn't even realize that Milk Cows had been the one holding on to the Rift Herald that was taken earlier, but he used it to take the first tower of the game.
Hello.
Oh, hello. How was the food?
It's a good 15-minute break, you know. How's the game looking?
I mean, we discussed it, and we've gone for we've elected into Draft Kingdom in favor of Tempest. But Caxi here gets caught out by Andicus. The cask not going to save him. Nice Deathmark over the top, picks up the kill there. Milk Cows could be here to respond though. Deathmark Shadow used to get himself to safety, and the Living Shadow afterwards. Slow on the back, gonna keep Todd at arm's length. Milk Cows has the culling in just a few seconds, but Naruto, Namikaze, and Jace are there. At the end of the day, that's just a kill for Andicus here. Really nice pickup on this Zed.
Yeah, looking like a Milk Cow's significantly ahead in the top lane because of a Rift Herald.
Nice little dodge there, but yeah, so Milk Cow's got himself, I believe Milk Cows and Caxi picked up Herald at some point. They gave it to Milk Cows, and then when they fought over Drake at the bot side, Milk Cows just used it top lane and got himself essentially 4 plates and first turret gold all to himself. So big spike on the Lucian. A giant crystal arrow hits onto the bar. Perfect execution, dashes onto Naruto Namikaze. The auto attack comes through to secure part 1, and here he goes. Todd going again. Perfect execution 2 picks up Dina there, but Akali going huge.
Yeah, when will people start banning the Akali from Todd?
I mean, so Akali just in general, right? She received a small nerf this patch, but it was by no means anything significant, and I think this champion is still very much insane as a pick. You know, just the amount of raw damage that she can do without even using her ulti really just it baffles me that she's able to do what she can do.
Yeah, and both those kills going over to Todd does mean he has a sizable kill advantage in the mid lane with 5 kills to Zed's 2 kills.
I mean, yeah, I think this game is showing that it's more so that Andicus is actually, I think, played both of these games out very well here. So props to him for that. I think that in game number 1 as well, Fossil Dino was doing incredibly well on the looks. This game, the Bard here, not had quite the same take, not been quite as successful. But both games for me, Andicus has showed up. So props to that for being so effective in the team. But there's a TP now coming in behind the bot lane
Double TP in here.
of DreadZone. So Milk Cows and Todd now in the bot side. Are the recall's going to come through in time? It's going to be close. Todd finds one, and the Gunblade onto Venerable Toxicity stops that second recall. And they're not even going to commit the ultimates. Just going to commit basic abilities and slaughter them in the alcove.
I'm going to be very blunt here. I think after that, it's game. I don't see how DreadZone's comp can really win this game with an Akali that's that far ahead.
Vic?
Yeah, it is a hard thing to deal with when you have an assassin that is as far ahead as Todd is. It's definitely no Lucian who can be like, you know, easily CC'd and taken down. But there is still, you know, slight hopes. You know, Andicus is doing well for himself as well. We could be seeing a battle of assassins, seeing who can carry harder, but things are definitely not looking good for the side of oh, their name is slipped me.
DreadZone. No, I mean,
DreadZone.
We go back to game number 1 and we sort of think that really the biggest lead either side was maybe 1 or 2k early on. In this game, we're looking at like 6 or 7. Verbal Toxicity. And he's just going to get caught out once again. The power duo, Milk Cows and Todd, come back once again to pick up that Caitlyn.
And we can see the S key coming out. Clear signs of tilt coming from Verbal Toxicity. Just kind of giving up and, you know, seems like a bit on autopilot, not really having any vision to push up that far, but still goes for it anyway and gets punished for it.
Man.
Yeah.
How much of an 80 gap was it between me and King, dude?
It's looking pretty huge, I won't lie. Perfect Execution comes through. The Magical Journey going to take Dinah to a little bit of safety. The Tempered Fate misses entirely. Shuriken Flip to go a little bit further forward, but I don't think it's going to result in anything. Milk House now, the culling comes through, going to target Jace just a little bit, takes him to around 2/3 HP. More than enough for an Urgot to stay around under the turret, but we look at the item discrepancies. Urgot's not finished his Black Cleaver yet. Milk House has both components of his Black Cleaver and completed Blade of the Ruin King as well. But yeah, I want to talk more about your point, Ivar. Go ahead.
What point?
The AD gap.
The difference.
Yeah. To be fair to yourself, you were on a mage, so you don't really have like let's say like the agency to make plays as this Ashe does.
That's fair. I mean, if I was on Ashe, do you think my ult would have hit?
You know, perhaps.
Perhaps. I think there's a chance you go better than 2 and 11. That's all I'll say.
I will say though, I got first brick and second brick. I made it a point to get bot tower and top tower with it because of the Ziggs pick. So it did its job.
The two picks do very different things, right? Ashe sets up picks for the team. Ziggs takes towers. You succeeded in what you want to do as a Ziggs, so right. We meme you, but you did Ziggs justice.
Okay, you guys heard it here first from Rude Dude himself. Quotations, you did Ziggs justice, close quotations.
Yep. And then we talk about a quote from the other part of the cast where Ivar admits he goes 2 and 11 on Mega Inferno bombs.
Yeah. That's kind of... It's because they had so much mobility, you know? The Rumble, Lux... who's their mid laner again?
Silas.
So much mobility.
I mean, yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Nothing happened, no kills were exchanged, so...
Don't you worry. Kills are here to come.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, the Onslaught of Shadows comes through. 900 gold picked up for the Hecarim here, who's working himself towards that Trinity Force, and with this very AD heavy build, building himself up to be quite the carry threat here at this point. And when Trinity Force comes through, definitely can't be underestimated the power that he's going to have.
Yeah, it's interesting that he did go for the Warrior before the Trinity Force. I usually see Hecarim's, go straight for the Trinity first, and, then even after we'll probably build like a Cinder Hulk or something like that, but definitely trying to be a big carry, as you say, for his team.
I remember hearing that essentially the reason that Hecarims go for Trinity Force first is because early on is when you're getting like a large amount of your gold, right? Like you propel quite early, further forward as we'll wait for Milk Cows just to flash out, get himself to safety. Emily in a little bit of a predicament here, but it's actually Naruto Namikaze that's in danger. Gets rooted up, gets tethered, but Emily just going to...
Busted his Karma.
Yo, Karma is one of my 3 champions in solo queue at the minute, that's all I'll say.
She's pretty broken. It's pretty true. And Emily has been, putting in work, punishing the Bard pick as well as she can.
Did you guys see that dragon fight earlier where she just flashed over the wall, no F's given?
Yep, I saw that.
Some would say that she's playing with 4 girls.
Who would say that?
Give me their names.
The team. They said it. That's why I said it.
Can we get a petition to rename them to Omega Gaming Eagles?
No.
Is that allowed?
They want to be named Omega Gaming Built Different. It's hard veto.
That's
I
unlucky.
like Tempest. Tempest is, got a nice ring to it.
As characters.
You got T and then E and then P. But the important here, Dina getting caught out. Todd, the recipient of the kill with the Shuriken flip and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, really just to commemorate the death. Didn't find anything too much. Now Caxi dashing over the wall, takes out the Blast Cone and just throws a barrel near the pit, doesn't even need it on the Drake. Perfect Execution goes in. The Shroud is not where Todd is entirely. Milk Cow's dashing into the backline as well. Onslaught of Shadow's not going to find the fear. Perfect Execution does some damage in the backline. Infernal Drake goes the way of Tempest. 3 kills do as well. And honestly, that's everything that they needed from that fight. Zed rather, walks away limping, but no kills to be found and everything in the favour of Tempest.
Yep, pretty one-sided game so far. Aside from this few solo kills that Andicus was able to pick up for himself, yeah, everything's been coming up Tempest so far.
And with that then, the Baron being picked up. 10,000 gold lead essentially now in favour of Tempest. What's the play if you're DreadZone to try and get yourselves back into this game? How do you win?
How do you win? That is a tough question. It's a tough ask for DreadZone. Their comp is really not set up to be very strong from behind. Caitlyn, as I mentioned before, is a champion that likes to have a lead and likes to be, dominating the map. Doesn't do such a good job of being behind. I mean, I guess she can set up a trap line, defend against sieges pretty well with that, but yeah, she's really not in the best of spots right now, not dealing the most damage. Bard as well, while he is does offer a lot of good utility, doesn't really have much damage and have too much pick potential outside of his ultimate at this point in the game. It's really looking tough. They don't have too many options. They do have to, however, look to try and maybe pick up the shutdowns that are on the side of Tempest, get some gold in that way, look for picks, split them up, maybe.
Oh, yeah, little fights across the map here. The Baron being used really effectively by Tempest. 4-level lead on this top side here. Milk Cows is so far ahead. Almost reaching the flame horizon as well. DZ Jace really struggling to try and hold off this pursuit that is a level 16 Lucian. Blade of the Ruin King, Black Cleaver picked up. He's just going to dash in under the turret. The dash to try and get himself to safety is going to be enough. And Milk Cows finishes off the turret and lets Pursuit on in, picks himself up a little bit more chip damage, but Naruto Namikaze is there to trade back. There goes the ultimate now, and then Andicus goes in. The stopwatch buys a little bit of time, but into the meat grinder he goes. It's going to be 1 kill for DreadZone Gaming, but the inhibitor mid lane falls. Lots of Baroned up minions hitting on this bot lane inhibitor, and with Urgot topside, doesn't feel like there's quite enough presence to stop the push. Omega Gaming Tempest pick up 2 inhibitors, and that's going to be enough for them off this push.
Tempest doing a really good job pressuring all 3 lanes with the Baron buff, and you know, really looks like the fight is taken out of DreadZone Gaming. They do manage to get an engage into Milk Cows, who's solo pushing top, but that's really all they get for it, is just a kill in return, and it's still not going to be enough to bring them back into the game.
Yeah, you talk about it overall, it's 1 kill in exchange for 5 minutes of berating super minions in 2 of 3 lanes, which, when Infernal Dragon spawning in a minute, you're definitely taking that every day of the week as Omega Gaming Tempest here. Not just Infernal Dragon, by the way, Infernal Soul, should it go in favour of Tempest here. Crab going to be picked up just to secure themselves the move speed shrine for when it does eventually spawn in the next 40 seconds or so. And now roaming ward squad, Tempest with Emily, King and Caxi all walking in. Don't go too far, go in, take out a couple of wards, but they're quite happy to leave Milk Cows in the top lane, and if he's left unattended he can probably just end up here.
Yeah, at the very least he'll be able to take an inhibitor turret unless 2 or more people go to match him, as he's been bullying this Jace up here, or this Urgot rather.
And another culling dashing into the minion waves, but Milk Cow's able to find a couple of chip auto attacks to take Jace down to maybe 2/3 HP, and now here come the rest of the team. 3 members on the top side, signifying that they are giving up this Infernal Dragon and Infernal Soul. Tempest going to be more than happy with that one.
Yeah. There's really not much they could do in that situation. At most, they could try and send Naruto solo to go for a Miracle Steal, but would only really delay the game maybe a few more minutes at best.
And
probably
worst,
cost him his life.
Yeah, cost him his life, and then they could just lose the game off of a numbers disadvantage, right?
For sure, yeah.
So now, triple waves of super minions gonna start spawning in, double supered up. In about a minute's time, those minions are gonna hit the base, and Tempest are gonna be in a great position to start focusing down some turrets. Not to mention the fact that they're, already in that position if they want to do so. Tempered Fate goes wide, and just one small cask onto Verbal Toxicity does a chunk of his HP with that Infernal Soul. And that's just the power of it. Gonna chunk down now. Naruto Namikaze down to maybe 200 health. Todd Perfect Execution, 5-point strike goes in. Picks up a double kill. The Shuriken Flip takes him to safety. Volley now and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow take Verbal Toxicity quite low, but he's in his base. He's healing up. And just Todd now sitting on the Nexus. And that's going to be a swift now 2-0 for Omega Gaming Tempest.
GG's to Tempest. Really clean game. Like you said, Rudude, a lot cleaner this time around. And a lot shorter. About 20 minutes shorter than the last game. But, very convincing win for Tempest. And really, as I've already said, it was kind of over around like 15-20 minute mark.
Yeah, they just they play like the Tempest we know. Really, just clean, macro focused, good mechanics, and they snowballed into victory. Not much more to say about it.
I guess not. I mean, it was just half the time that we were hoping for coming into game number 2, having seen game number 1. We were, hoping for that 1-hour barn burner, more Clown Fiesta, more action, but we didn't get it, unfortunately. So we live and we learn, we move, and we hope for longer, more entertaining games in the future. Obviously, we're always happy to see an Omega Gaming 2.0 here on the channel. Vic, Ivor, any final words?
I think that's it. That rounds up our games for the week here at Omega. I think every single team 2-0'd this week.
Again?
I think. Don't quote me on that. I know 4 of the teams did. I know Unleashed won Excellency Invitational. I know No Shuck won. This team won. Luna didn't play. Fire went 1-1 this week because they had a substitute issue going on. What other teams are there?
Yeah, Luna didn't play, right? So that's
No.
that's everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, man, that's about it. We're gonna send everybody over to LHG. They're still streaming their game. I'll show some mega love in the chat. We will be back Monday with the debut of our Risen Divine team, Omega Gaming Silence, D1 roster. And then we see our good friend Viscero here making their debut on Tuesday. I think we have 5 streams next week. We have a lot of content coming your guys' way. So follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch. Make sure you have those notifications on. And thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Thank you for having me on the cast, guys. And as Ivor said, come by next Tuesday if you want to see Unleashed get clapped.
Yeah, I'll take it, and we'll say that 5 streams next week, guys. You definitely won't want to miss out. If you want more content, I think I'm on pretty much every day. We're here. I think it's Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and then Thursday you're going to be greeted, I believe, by I don't know who, but I'll be leaving you in the capable hands of somebody who knows what they're doing, and not somebody like me who forgets what score it is and forgets to mute mic. So, with all that said and done, we'll send you over to Lastic Gods, as Ivor says. Show some love, show some support for the boys that we've just seen taking a tremendous 2-0, and we will be right back with you on Monday for some more action. Peace.